great. Sorry. I don't know how long I'll stream today, but I at least get to spend some time with you guys, right? Because I didn't get to play any Dragon Age stuff, so... And I want to. Hey, Wolf!
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. How was that?
Was that good? How am I doing? I'm okay. I wish I could get paid to stay home. I'm pretty hungry today. And this banana's not very good. Not ripe enough yet. How about now? Is that better? What? Nom, nom, nom. Except, yeah, like I said, this one's not ripe enough, but... You think it's fine? Let's test run with the banana. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Yeah? Was that okay?
Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Bananas.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Okay, if it's ever kind of hard to hear me, please let me know ASAP. Even if you think it's just you, just let me know so that I can adjust accordingly. So it works out for the recording and everything.
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman.
Tell your internet to stop being a poop.
Great, it's starting already. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. I'm derping really, really hard right now. Let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
I'm doing okay, Wolf. How are you?
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In English!
Now I can upload, like, longer videos, so I've been doing half an hour for all of these, so it really cuts down on the time I take having to upload them.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
What?
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
What did I buy? Wait, what? Oh, I see. Yeah, Bal, what'd you buy? Comic Con. Ooh. And you got Dragon Age today, Wolf. Yay! Feel free to share a picture of your Inquisitor if you're on my Facebook page. You can feel free to share a picture. I'd love to see your Inquisitor.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks inside the evidence room? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
No, please. No, please. 3 anime and 3 games. You bought a Monokuma and a Monomi? Yay! I have one too. Monomi's on my bed right now, but Monokuma's right beside me right now. He's just sitting on top of my computer. Monomi's on my bed. There goes Zidane. Zidane, come back. 1 second, guys. My Zidane just flew off the computer. Come back, Zidane. Get back up there beside Vivi. There we go. Okay. He just jumped. He didn't want to sit beside Monokuma anymore.
I already read this. Why am I reading it again?
Well, we know he's lying. You're lying, sir, because we found your prints on the scene. On the scene.
Objection!
Yay, Val! I'm glad you got them.
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Really? You saw a lot of Danganronpa cosplayers? That's awesome! I'd probably see a lot at Anime North, but when I went to Fan Expo, there was only a few. But I made sure to tell them all they were awesome. Same thing with all Sailor Moon characters. But yeah. Oh, it's okay, Wolf.
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? Seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime. That's such an odd place to cut the sentence. I seriously can't wait for my splitter to get in so I can play Danganronpa for you guys. It'll only be like the 60th time I play Danganronpa, but I really want to play it. And I haven't beaten another episode yet, and I'm kind of debating, should I continue playing Danganronpa another episode? Or should I wait till when I stream it with you guys? I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker when where my fingerprint was by chance. I still can't read. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. Oh, thank you, Wolf. I'll have to check it out later. The defense may now cross-examine your bum.
What? I shouldn't have added your bum. That was a bad decision. I'm sorry. Sometimes I like to fit the words your bum or, stuff like that into a sentence. Sorry.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it.
Let's do this. See, I shouldn't have said it.
That's because you, how do you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
The bum is hostile. Oh dear. Where is this going?
That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. Ouch. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently, his fingerprint data was never changed. He must have been using the fingerprint lock without even knowing it.
Sorry, just making sure something. Making sure I checked all the things I need to check on my stream. I thought something was weird here. How does he know? How does he know the murderer was wearing gloves? Yay, Kay! Welcome back. Oops.
How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. Derp derp. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place his hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion I can't read. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood. In the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Ooh, yay! Updating your internet? That's always good. Always a good thing.
What do you mean by that? You want to tie me into this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Hey, Evie!
But that video's next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, he could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
I don't know about that.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness. Officer Jake Marshall. Why did you pause for that?
Dun, 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 dun. I love this song. Dun, 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 dun. Look at Meekins creeping by. I don't know why that's funny, but it is. Ah! Boom, boom, boom. There he's here, and then... Ta-da! Oops, no. Do you remember how many times you had to watch this video the first time you did this case? I do. Bringing our attention back to the security camera, that song was like stuck in my head for so long.
It's a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
Surprise!
That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
Hello, creepy blue badger. It's so cute but so creepy at the same time. If we go back, yes. Ta-da.
Oh! The white cloth! It's gone! What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
You can still hear everything okay, right? My voice and the game?
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner. But you got me wrong. You got the wrong man.
Sorry, I missed what the judge said because I looked at the chat.
So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
Oh dear. Jake, stop. Jake, stop. You're just...
Diarrhea of the mouth right now. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in.
Oh, thank you, Val.
It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why's everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
Oh dear, Jake.
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it.
Okay. Lockers have
Fingerprint identifying stuffs. Fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There's even some people in the force that don't even know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No!
What? Where did the wind come from?
Order! 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 Witness, explain yourself! If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I can't hold on to this accent if he doesn't say something like partner.
It's really difficult.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. And stop biting on your scarf. Olay! Please answer the question.
What?
What is he now, a bullfighter?
That's alright, Officer Marshall.
I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion.
He's biting jerky. Judge suddenly goes, "Ole!" I love it, though.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman. Objection! But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond, sorry? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed to enter the evidence room. I can talk, so he must have been carrying it. The answer's simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Biting on his scarf. Or jerky. His jerky scarf. You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence? Any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as a victim? That was a very long sentence. Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert? Really? The desert heat. The desert heat. Ah! This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Whoa, Phoenix. We need to talk about this. Jake Marshall's the one? You never told me. I thought you trusted me more than that. Ole!
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
Yummy dessert heat.
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Nick, try thinking outside the box.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise, but rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. I just derped on that. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Look who's sweating bullets now.
Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. Here comes Meekins!
Ooh, no, wait. I said to pause and it didn't pause on time. Look at all of it. Oh no. Kay, are you okay?
For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room. I don't know what the reason was. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, huh, partner?
Anyone who's played this case knows your pain with the tape.
Now then, Officer Marshall,
And this case in general, by the way. The pain with this case in general.
are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. It seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Large quantities of blood traces were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It looked like too much blood for that.
Banana.
When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only the detective who was in charge of it can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why... Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Normally, that locker shouldn't have opened. So it opened because a rubber